Hi, welcome back to the channel. I'm Marcus from InfoSec Governance, and in today's video we're going to be talking about Windows security. This is going to be pretty much a basic guide to Windows security, what's involved in it, what the options are and things like that. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So what we're going to do is, to get to Windows security, all you have to do is go down to the bottom right hand corner next to the time, a Windows flag or a Windows shield sort of thing with either a green option or a green tick. So all you do is just double click on it. And as you can see here, we've got a couple of categories. Now, if your little Windows shield down the bottom right hand corner isn't there, you could click on the little up arrow to show more icons, and it could be in here. And if it's not there, you can just click on the start menu and do a quick search for Windows security, and then you can actually click on the Windows security option there. So now that we're in Windows security, you can see that there's a couple of different categories here. We've got virus and threat protection, account protection, firewall and network protection, app and browser control, device security, device performance and health, and family options. Now, at the recording of this video, this machine that we're on at the moment, it's joined to a domain, a test domain, and it's pretty much a vanilla install. It's just been installed, and there we go. So it's pretty much straight out of the box. So we'll have a look at the virus and threat protection if we just click on this here. As you can see, it's talking about the virus and threat protection. So what antivirus do you have, if you anything in? If it's just the basic current version of it, it is Windows Defender. And as you can see, under current threats, there's no current threats. The last scan was a couple of days ago from this recording. There wasn't any threats found. It took 57 seconds to scan, and there was 38,000 files scanned. Now, if you have a feeling that you've got an issue with your computer, you can actually run a quick scan yourself. All you have to do is just click on quick scan. That'll just start off a scan, and the scan will just carry on running. Now, what you need to know is with Windows Defender, which is the built-in antivirus, is it runs in the background 24/7. As soon as Windows comes on, that's it. It's scanning your computer. It's protecting your computer from start to finish. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is click on Scan Options. Scan Options allows you to configure the different types of scans that you've got going. So by default, you've got Quick Scan, you've got Full Scan, which will scan every single file. It won't just scan the files that are like executables and things like that. It'll scan every single file. This could take hours and hours and hours. So don't worry if you click on that, hit the scan, and you come back 3 hours later and it's still scanning. Don't worry about that. For custom scan, if we click on this here, this allows you to scan a single file or a single folder or anything like that. So all you need to do is click on custom scan, click scan now. It'll bring up a file location window, so you just need to click on this once my computer comes to life. And you can say click on the music folder, click select folder, and there it goes, it'll just scan. And as you can see, scan took 1 second, there was 2 files scanned. Now, if you've got a problem with your computer, you think you've got some kind of threat on your machine, Windows Defender can't repair anything, can't clean something, what you might need to do is actually reboot your computer in a sort of kind of safe mode. Now, this is where Windows Defender Offline Scan comes. So you can actually click on this option here, and what it'll do is it'll actually restart your computer and actually scan your computer. And it'll do it while all the files aren't open and haven't got locks and things on. So you just select that, hit scan now, it will restart your computer, scan it, clean anything that it couldn't clean before, restart it again, and then you'll be back up to where you normally are. So what we can also see here is we've got allowed threats. So if you click on this link here, this just shows you what threats you're allowed to run on your computer. So for example, if you ran something and Windows Defender's popped up and tried to block it or asked you, saying, are you sure you want to run this, or this is trying to execute and do something like that, you could say allow this or deny this. This is where the allow threats would be, and if you had allowed a couple of files to run or applications to run, it would have listed it here. So if we just go back one, in protection history, this one just shows you what the history is and the recommendations and the actions are for actually protecting your computer. So as this is a vanilla install of Windows, I haven't set anything else up. I've pretty much just installed it, logged in, and here we go. So for this, it's actually saying you've got OneDrive, which comes with Windows 10. Set it all up, and that can further protect you against ransomware. So as you can see, you can just click on here, and if you want to actually do install OneDrive to save your files in there to help you protect and back up your machine and stuff like that, you can just say Actions, set up OneDrive, and it'll just take you through those actions of doing it. If we go back one, and again, so we've covered these three here. So virus and threat settings, it's got a green tick here, so everything's going great. If it didn't have a green tick, if it had an amber like alert sign or anything like that, it would actually tell you what the actions were that needed to be remediated. Instead of saying no action needed, it would say this needs to be sorted to get it working. So if we just click on Manage Settings, and in here, this is where you can actually temporarily disable Windows Defender. So for example, if you're running something on your computer and Windows Defender is interfering with it, so for example, if you're doing some development work and you don't want your antivirus to potentially lock files or try and intercept things, you can actually just click on this toggle button here, and there we go, it just turns it straight off. Windows will just say, are you sure you want to do this? You say yes, and that is your real-time protection turned off. So what's happening, what you should know is that once you've turned this off, as soon as you restart your computer and your computer comes back on, Windows Defender will be back up and running. Your real-time scanning will be back up and running. So for example, if you've turned it off for a reason and you've completely forgotten to turn it back on again, as soon as you restart your computer, it'll be back on again, so you'll be safe. So the next one down, I'll just turn that one back on. So the next one down is Cloud Delivery Protection. This is where Windows Defender and Windows 10 talks to Microsoft's data center, talks to their servers, has a look to see what threats are out there. What does Windows Defender know about the threats and the viruses and the malware out there, and it'll just get all the latest information from the cloud, from Microsoft servers, bring it all down, and knows what it works with. So I would recommend just to leave that turned on. Automatic sample submission. This is where if Windows Defender is scanning your computer, it finds a threat, it doesn't know what it is, it might be something brand new, it might be a new piece of ransomware, a new piece of malware, the machine doesn't know what it is. So what it can do is, it could treat it, and then it'll say, do you want to send this sample that we've just found, we don't know about, do we want to send that to Microsoft for analysis? So if you leave that on as default, it'll send it to Microsoft, then Microsoft security researchers can review this sample piece of code that you've got, and then if it is a threat, they can push it out so everyone else knows about it. So every other Windows provider, every other Windows user even, knows it, and they'll be safeguarded against it. And again, if you've had something that you think is malicious, you can just click on Submit a Sample here, and that'll do it manually. For Temp Protection, this is where it's, I would leave this turned on, but what it does is it prevents any other processes or any other activities actually tampering from security features within your computer. So for example, if you've got a malicious piece of code and then it tries to actually go into your memory of your computer or try and intercept things and do stuff that should be restricted, Windows Defender will actually block you for that. Now you can actually click on the Learn More option here, and what it will do is, once my computer comes to life, is take you to a website, and it'll just give you a bit more information about how to prevent changes and stuff to your computer through this Temp Protection. So you can just go through, read it, and it just tells you a tiny little bit about it, not much. Now the next thing down is controlled folder access. Controlled folder access is designed to only allow authorized access to these certain folders. So it's meant to be designed for restricting ransomware access, unauthorized access, stuff like that. So for example, if you've got confidential information that you want protected from external sources or any applications, processes, anything like that from accessing it, you can define these folders that you have access to. So for example, all your main documents, maybe videos, pictures, things like that, you could control them saying only authorized people like myself can get access to that. Anyone else needs to actually authenticate against it and prompt and get in. So what you can do is just click on Managed Folder Access, and in here you can actually turn it on, turn it off, what your block history is. So if anyone's actually tried to access your dedicated folders, it would actually come up in here and tell you what the processes are or what the files are. Protected folders are the actual folders that you want to actually protect. So what we can see here is we've got documents, more documents, pictures, videos, music, and things like that. So if you wanted to add a new one, you just click on here and then just go and select the folder of choice that you wanted. So if you wanted to download protect against, I don't know, the users folder, you just do that, hit select folder, and it'll actually add it to there. Okay, so we'll go back one. What you could do also is, if you need to have all this enabled and protected, but you want certain applications to actually get access to those folders, you can actually allow an application to have access to it. So in here you just say allow an app through control folder access, click on that, say yes to that, and then all you need to do is just click on this, allow an app, and just say browse apps, browse the application, locate the file that you want, and then say open, and then it will come in this list here, and then that application has access to it. It won't be denied or anything like that. And then the next one down is just ransomware data recovery. So what this is an additional section of the Windows security. It allows Windows 10 to actually try and protect your information a little bit more from ransomware. So for example, if you downloaded some malware, Windows Defender didn't block it for whatever reason, you got ransomware. This is trying to set it up so your information is safe or safer than what it was. So in this action here, it's just saying OneDrive should be set up for file recovery. Because I don't have OneDrive set up, all you need to do is just click on set up OneDrive. If I already had OneDrive set up, this would already be a green tick, it wouldn't be like a little exclamation mark. Okay, so we've got exclusions is the next one down. So sometimes when you're running antivirus, especially with Windows Defender or anything like that, you might want to exclude certain folders. For example, again, if you're a developer or anything like that, you might want to exclude certain critical folders. This is the option that you can actually do this. So all you need to do is click on add remove exclusions. In here you just need to click add an exclusion, and then you can just add a folder, file type process. And it's just a case of just click on it, select the folder. For this example, say my users folder, do that, click yes, and what it'll do is any antivirus scanning, any malware scanning, it'll exclude that folder and all subfolders within it. And then notifications is pretty much as it says, it's notifications. So when you get to the bottom right hand corner, when you're in Windows 10 and you get little things popping up and all that, it's just that there. So you can actually turn on or off whether or not you want antivirus or anti-threat protection alerts. You know, do you want scan results popping up, do you want threats found popping up, and stuff like that. So we go back to the main screen of Windows security, and the next one is account protection. There's not too much to say about this one. This one is primarily for if you have your Microsoft account associated with your Windows machine. So for example, if you log in with your Windows Live account or anything like that that's associated with Microsoft, you can go in and get a few extra security permissions and stuff and benefits like that. As I don't have this set up, it's asking me to actually sign in with an account, and then it would actually set it all up. If you want to know the reasons why you need to do that, you can just click on the learn more. It'll take you to a website and you can get more information about that. Now, dynamic lock, this is quite a cool one. This one is an automatic locking of your machine. So what it'll do is it'll use Bluetooth. You associate it with your mobile phone. So as soon as you walk away from your computer, your mobile phone's out of range of your computer, it'll automatically lock your computer. Now, as I'm connected to this over a remote session, the options aren't available, but you can just click on dynamic lock settings, and this will open up another window and give you some settings and stuff just to configure it. So as you can see, you've got sign-in options here, and then you've got dynamic lock here, and all you do is just check that there, and it will just go through and actually pair it with your phone. So we just go back to the main Windows security page. The next one is firewall and network protection. As it says, you know, it's network and firewall protection. So you've got your three main categories. You've got domain for being in an office or a work environment. You've got private for your home and public for if you're out and about in a coffee shop and things like that. Now you can click on the various different ones for getting the information, and obviously as it shows here, it shows active for whichever profile you're on. So if I click on the domain one, in here it'll just show you what the domain network is you're connected to. If you want Windows Defender Firewall turned on, which I would recommend, or if you want to turn it off, you just click on the little toggle switch, click yes, and that's turned Windows Firewall off. And as you can see, you get your notification there which says it's been turned off. So if we just turn that back on, and the next option down here, incoming connections, I would always leave this unchecked, but if you wanted, say for example, if you had an issue where you're getting completely bombarded with some kind of threat, some processes hitting your machine, you're getting lots of connections coming in all the time, what you might want to do is actually check this box here and block all connections. What this does is pretty much just shuts the door on the computer and blocks anything coming into your machine until you can get it resolved. Yep, so what we've got here next is an allow app through firewall. As it says, you've got your firewall enabled, it'll block pretty much everything. If you want to allow a specific app through your firewall, just click on this and you can just go in and select something and add something. If it's already pre-populated, all you need to do is just check it and then say domain private public. If you want to add something else, you can just say change settings, add another app, and add your application of choice just to allow it through, and just click add, select it from here, click on browse, select your file, click add, and then it would add it in. Network and internet troubleshooter, as it says, if you've got a problem with your network, if you're not getting connection or anything like that, you can just click the troubleshooter and it'll walk you through the various stages to actually try and get that resolved. Windows Firewall notification settings is pretty much what it was before. It's just notification settings and things like that. But what you can see here is you've got security providers. So if we click on manage providers, this actually allows you to define your providers for your antivirus and firewall. So for example, if you have installed another third-party antivirus or firewall product, you know, whether or not it's Kaspersky, McAfee, ESET or anything like that, it would actually come up in this list here. So instead of just having Windows Defender Antivirus enabled here, you could actually get another option here, select that other option and make that one default. And the same with the firewall. If you had a third-party firewall, you could change it from the Windows built-in firewall to something else. And web protection is, if you had another product that enabled additional web protection, you could set that up and configure that. Notifications, as I said, is just the notifications in the bottom right hand corner. Advanced settings. So advanced settings is the advanced settings of the Windows firewall. So you can just go in and you can get a lot more control over your firewall. Ooh. So you can click on the inbound rules, the outbound rules, and just configure everything that you need to do. So as you can see, you've got a lot of options here. And you can just go through and set stuff up, add your own rules, add your own things, remove them, disable them to fix things. Restore firewalls to default. If you've been adding a load of settings to your firewall and it's broken something, you can just reset it back to the normal and you know where you started from. Okay, app and browser control. As it says, it's app and browser. So what this does is it allows Smart Screen and Windows 10 to actually protect your machine from the internet. So when you go on the internet using Edge and things like that, you can actually have the Windows 10 or Smart Screen go and check the files and stuff that you're downloading against a known list that Microsoft know about it, against various hashes and things like that. So when you download something and it knows it's a malicious one or an invalid one or a bad one, it can actually warn you or block you to say, you know, be careful of this, it might not be right. So you can just click on, say, block all downloads if it's known, or warn. And obviously, do you want to enable Smart Screen, yes or no, so you can just toggle that. And then you got Smart Screen for Microsoft apps as well, which you could warn or off, and go from there. Device security, not too much in this, it's pretty much as it says, device security. What's the security on your computer like? So if you click on core isolation details, this one just gives you an option to actually add additional information about protecting your computer through memory integrity checks and things like that. So you can just turn that on or off. Secure boot. Is secure boot enabled? Yes or no? All new machines these days have secure boot enabled. That just stops third-party or malicious applications infecting your boot partition. So when you turn your computer on, it stops anything malicious actually getting into it, running that first before Windows. Device and health performance. This is just pretty much an overall health review of your computer. If everything's green, that's great. If it's amber, then it'll tell you what it is. And fresh start is if you've been running your machine and your machine's been running slow, you know, it's starting to get a bit groggy, it's going slow and stuff like that. You can just say run a fresh install. It won't remove any of your files or anything like that, but it'll put a new copy of Windows on. It should be running a lot quicker. And the final one, spit words out, family options, is just to configure Windows 10 for the families. So if you're a parent, you've got kids running your machine, you can just set up family settings and stuff like that. And then the last thing we need to do is just click on the settings for Windows security. And in this, it's in the previous screen that we've seen before, you can just click on security providers, check your providers, change them to defaults. And that is it. It's been a very quick overview for beginners. It's all about the Windows security built into Windows. I'd recommend that you have a look at this every now and then. Just make sure there's no exclamation marks like this that needs some action done. If it has, have a look at it, remediate it, make sure it's all green across the board like that. So I hope this has been informative for you. Feel free to like this video. If you've got any comments about it, feel free to put the comments in below the video, and subscribe to the channel for some more information like this in the future. Thanks very much. Bye.